things we did practice last week was, other than plotting points on a coordinate grid, was finding the pattern rule of the line or finding the pattern rule of the points. And I think it was the last page that we did on Friday, where it was like, what was the pattern between the X and the Y? Not the X's, because I think that was what some people do. Oh, the X's are even, or the Y's are odd. It was just, that was what was on the paper, but not necessarily the line. So it was like, where the X and Y, the points increased by 1. Where the X was 3, the Y would be 4. The X was 2, the Y would be 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice plotting some points.
So this line is one more?
On that one specific line. It's not always going to be like that. It was just on that one line. So what I'm going to do is we're going to practice plotting 3 different lines. We have line A, line B, and line C. And we're going to see if we can identify the pattern rule of the 3 different lines. So the first thing you always would be a really good thing is, one, we know that that's the origin, is the starting point. That's always the origin. Right here, always. This, always. X-axis, always. This, oh, my orientation's off. Always the Y. I don't want to orient because I might accidentally start my video. Okay. So, let me get to. With this, they are giving us the pattern rules. Where before they gave us the points and we had to find the rule, this time they're giving us the rule and we have to put in points. Okay? It sounds weird, but it's not that bad. So, for line A, Y is 2 more, I write too big, than X. Y is 2 more than X. Okay? That's just for A. B. Y is 2. Oops, let's not put X. 2 times X. Okay, line C, you really have to think about this one. Y is 1 more than X double. So if you think about what it's telling you, it's not as complicated as you think about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some points in for X. I'm going to go ahead and put some points in for X. So, and I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to put some huge, massive numbers in there. I might start off with 1, 3, 5. So, Y is 2 more than X. So, if Y is 2 more than 1, what is 2 more than 1? 3. You're like, oh, okay, that's not that bad. What is 2 more than 3?
6.
Not 2 times, 2 more. So Y would be 5 here. What is 2 more than 5?
7.
7. So here my coordinate pair would be 1, 3. 3, 5, 5, 7. Yes, ma'am.
Where did you get like where it says Y is
It gave it to me. It told me. Engage said so. So now if I wanted to have a little bit of fun, I might, because sometimes I get nerdy with stuff, I might want to make up my own rules, but I want it to be something reasonable. So I might go ahead and plot these. So 1, 3. Now I look at my lines, I look at my hashes, and I've got hash 2, hash 4, hash 6, hash 8. So what do I notice, or what do you notice about the lines? Daniel, you have a zipper. So what do you notice about the skipping on your axis? What do you notice? Bailey? Okay, so my skipping, it goes by, 2, 4, 6. But what about these that have no number? What are those? So they're just going by ones. So each one is 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't have to worry about fractions today on that. So over 1 up to 3. There's my first point. Over 3 up 5. We always do X, Y. Over, up.
So X is over and Y is up.
Always. 5, 7. And I'm going to take my straight edge. This is kind of hard because it's like wanting to go to the right just a little. Okay, so now I've got that one done. So now I'm going to do line, and I'm going to label it A. If it gives me a line name, I want to label it. I need to name it. Line B. Y is 2 times X. So is this 2 more? Or it's like a double, 2 times. So I'm going to give this one a different color so my line stands out better. So if I do, maybe I'll do 1, 3, 5 again. Just going to keep it simple. So 1 times 2, because it's 2 times. 1 times 2, what do I get?
2.
2. 3 times 2. 6. 5 times 2. 10. So here, my coordinates, I get 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 10. It almost sounded a little bit intimidating when we started, but is it as intimidating as it sounded? Finding the pattern rule is a little bit harder than being given the pattern rule and making points. So over 1, up 2, so you would be starting there again. 3, 6.
You went up 3.
What?
You went up 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you. See, I didn't sleep real good. I don't know why. 5. Y is 1 more than X doubled. So I might go 1, 3, 5 again. Because even though my X's are the same, have my points in the same spot.
If it was 1,
I would double it and then add 1. So 1 doubled, 1 times 2 plus 1. 3 doubled is 6 plus 1. 5 doubled, 10 plus 1. So then I've got my points So now I put it there. 5, 7. Darn it! My brain, I swear upon all that is holy. Right when I did it, I was like, what am I doing? Stop. And I did it anyway. 3. Oh, hello. 3, 7. Good grief. 5. Thank goodness for erasers, right? There you go. So the main thing you have to make sure that you do whenever you're doing points is remember X, then Y. Because if you go up and then over, you're going to plot your lines completely wrong. Jocelyn, can't be looking down. So you have to go over, then up. You do not ever up, then over. You will plot them wrong every time. Always over, up. And see, even when they did completely different points, they did 0, 3, 8, 0, 4, 7, 0, 3, 6 on my lessons, the lines are still the same. Because like this line ended up going through 0, but the lines, if I had had a straight edge and not freehanded it, they still, because they follow the rule, just like on that sheet when it's like pick, what other points could be on the line. Because they follow that pattern rule, it would continue on and still be on there. It would still work. Because if I did one more than X doubled, if I had done 0, it would be 0, 1, 0, 1, it would be right here. And my line would be a little bit more there and not curved if I didn't have a straight edge. I didn't, thank you. I did not label those. You are correct. So C, B. My lines would look a little bit better if I had a big ruler, and I do have a yardstick. However, that being said, if I laid it on there, it would be all wonky lines. So what you are going to do is you are going to receive your problem set, and on there it's going to give you the pattern rule, and you are going to come up with your own points, just like we did. You're going to come up with your own points and follow the line, and then it's going to have you like what would be some other points that could be on that line that maybe you wouldn't have on there. Like I could say here on line C, Y is 1 more than X doubled. I could say that X of 20, Y of 41. Even though it's not anywhere on the grid. I know that if the line continued, it would be there. Because it follows the pattern. Yes, ma'am.
So on the problem set, if we all checked it, everyone got it right, but with the lines, will be the same.
The lines should look the same. Your points might be different, but your line should look the same. Because if your line continues and it's straight, your lines should be the same. Yes.
So if you had like 41 seconds, where would you place?
They're not asking you to, like, they're saying what would be 2 other points that would be on the line. Down there, those 2 extra blanks. Okay, so let's see. Create a table of 3 values for X and Y such that each y coordinate is 3 more than the corresponding x coordinate. So whatever you put in for x, y has to be 3 higher or 3 more. So if I just put in like 0, I might space mine out a little bit just so my line is longer. 0, 6, and 10. Make my line a little bit longer. So then if this is 0, y is 3. If this is 6, y is 9. If this is 10, y is 13. So then my corresponding points are this, my coordinate pair. You do not have to have the same points, but your line should look the same. Should not still have in and out. Okay, so doesn't go to the right at all, but goes up 3. I can look at my x and y axis and see if they're going by ones. Over 6, up 9. Uh-oh, I made mine where I'm off the grid. Over 10. Up 13. I'm guessing where that line is. Okay. Not a very pretty straight line, but it's straight enough. Okay. Give the coordinates for 2 other points that fall on this line with x coordinates greater than 12. So it's not going to be on this plane. So greater than 12, so I might say x of 13. So y would be 16. X could be 14. Y would be 17. Any questions about that first one? Did you end up with something with a line that looks similar? Now, make sure that your lines are lines, not segments. If it's just point to point, that's a segment. It's supposed to be a line with arrows. The other day, never ending came out of my mouth. They're supposed to have arrows. Otherwise, you would not have coordinates with 2 other points that fall on the line with x coordinates greater than 12. This with other points would not be possible if you did not have the arrows. If you just have point, point with that, the other points would not be possible. It's a line, not a segment. So you have to remember to put your arrows on there. Okay. Create a table of 3 values for x and y such that each y coordinate is 3 times as much. So you just have to make sure you pay attention to your vocabulary. Are you checking your stuff, Antonio? All right. 3 times as much as its corresponding x coordinate. So I might do 0. I don't want to do it again where I make stuff that won't be off the grid, so I have to pay attention to the numbers I'm putting in there. 2 and 4. If I put in really big numbers again, I'm going to be way out there where I can't plot. Right? And that guy was like, oh, wait, I don't want to put in 8 because then I can't plot it. So 3 times as much. 3 times as much. So I know that I have to multiply by 3. So 0 times 3. Ah. So no matter what, that one's going to be at 0, 0 in my origin. 2 times 3, 6. 4 times 3,
8, 12.
12. So know your times there. Okay. So now I'm going to plot again. I've got 0, 0 over 2 up 6 over 4 up 12. I need to straight.
Straightage.
Give the coordinates for 2 other points that fall on this line with y coordinates greater than 25. So obviously I'm not going to do like an x over here with a 1 or a 6 or anything small. It needs to be with an x coordinate greater than 25. So what did you do, Lori? Oh, I'm sorry, they cut that off. That's right. It wasn't on your paper. So if I were going to, and I meant to ignore that, and then I totally forgot that I was going to ignore that. So if I were going to give an x coordinate with something greater than 25, what could I do? What's something I could do? So how about we do something that's easy to do in your head? Something good mentally. Caitlin.
30.
Yeah, 30, that'd be easy. So then your y coordinate would be 90. Something you don't have to put a lot of thought into. Are you going to pay attention or are you going to keep playing on your desk? Paying attention's good. Not paying attention bad. So what could be something else that would be easy to do greater than 25? Morgan? 100 would be good. So then your y coordinate would be 300. That's a really long line, but lines are never ending. Line segments are ending. Lines, never ending, they're infinite. They got a whole bunch of points. Then you've got this, the one that you had. So if you did the lines with the arrows, you should have had some that intersected. If you just did segments, well then of course they're not going to intersect. If you spent a whole lot of time talking and not doing anything, well then you didn't get this far. That would be a problem. So, graph the lines on the plane. X is equal to y. So, whatever you put for x, what do you know about y? It's the same number. So, if I put 1 here, what is y? 1. If I put 3 here, what is y? 3. If I put 6 here, 6. So 1, 1, 3, 3, 6, 6. Are you writing anything down? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I know again that my hashes are 1 point hash. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 6. This is line L. For line M, y is 1 more than x. So whatever I put in for x, y is 1 more. So I might put in, let's see, if I put in, I'm going to try an x of 1. I'm going to do all my same points again, 1, 3, and 6. So, but did you have to do that? No. So if x is 1, y is 2. X is 3, y is 4. Caitlin must be the only person in the room. X is 6, y is 7. So I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. What can I see about these two lines? Do they intersect? No, they are parallel. They do not intersect. They are parallel. They do not intersect. Line N is 1 more than twice x. So whatever I put in for x, I'm going to do what? Multiply it by 2 and then add 1. So I'm going to do my 1, my 3, my 6. So 1 times 2 plus 1.
3.
3 times 2 plus 1. 6 times 2 plus 1.
13.
So 1, 3, 3, 7, 6, 10, 1. What the hell? Okay. So, which two lines intersect? Kobe. So N and M. At what point? At what coordinates would they intersect? 0, 1. So let me double check that. I mean, 1, it's because I drew it and it intersected there. But let me double check and see. So we're saying M and N, and we're saying 0, 1. So I didn't use 0 as a point. So here, oh, here, 1 more than x. So here, if I put in point 0, 1 more than x, I would get 1. Here, 1 more than twice x. So 0 times 2 plus 1. So I would have the same point. So they would intersect there, and I would have the same point for both of those lines. Here, x is equal to y. I would have 0, 0. Would they intersect? No. That one would be there at the origin. So, very good. Good job. I think that's all. Do I have that one? No. Okay. I didn't think so. So you are going